Well, welcome everybody. My name is Lenny Santiago. I'll be your MC for today's exciting press conference as we kick things off for the USL Cup weekend. A couple of housekeeping items. Also, I do want to say welcome to all of our guests that are joining us on the live stream. Thank you for joining us today. We'll open up with some comments from USL President Jake Edwards, and then we'll open up a couple comments from the two contenders for the USL Cup. We'll have time for a couple of questions for Q&A live here, followed by a photo opportunity up front in front of the trophy. Then we'll have some media one-on-ones in the back for all the members of the media here, and then we will end with a photo opportunity downstairs. With those formalities out of the way, I'd like to introduce Jake Edwards, President of the USL. Jake.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Lenny. Thank you all for joining us. On behalf of our CEO, Alec Papadakis, and the entire USL family, welcome. Welcome to the 2017 USL Cup. Thank you for being here for this press conference as we kick off this championship weekend. This 2017 season has been a landmark season for our league for many reasons. We had 3 new teams join the league in Reno, Tampa and Ottawa this season, making this the largest field of clubs we've ever had. We also had numerous senior internationals, world-class players, veterans and some of the rising stars of the game in North America competing week in, week out to make this, I believe, one of the strongest and most competitive seasons we've had to date. We opened several new soccer-specific stadiums. As part of our Destination 2020 Stadium Initiative program, we'll have more coming in the years ahead. We launched USL Productions and the USL Television Network to great effect this season, taking our games and our content truly to a global audience. This growth has been supported and recognized by our fans, and I'm thrilled to say over 2 million fans have come out this season to support their local teams, their local USL clubs. That's a huge accomplishment. Never in the history of US soccer has a second division had so much support, and we thank all of our fans for turning out in those record numbers. All this will culminate Monday night in a fantastic USL Cup match. Let me give a few thank yous. I would certainly like to thank the City of Louisville for their hospitality in hosting this great event. This is our marquee event, so appreciate all the hard work that's going to go into this weekend and to Monday's match. I'd like to thank Mayor Fisher and Louisville Metro Council for their passionate support of Louisville City over the last few seasons and their commitment to finding this club a fantastic new home in Butchertown. Finally, I'd like to thank all the fans of this club, especially Louisville Coopers, over the last few seasons have demonstrated phenomenal passion and have really made this into a soccer city. What better place to find ourselves in today than the Muhammad Ali Center as we launch our championship weekend in the home of the champ. This is a phenomenal building, an iconic building in this city, and we thank the center for allowing us to kick off the weekend here. It's only fitting then that we have these 2 heavyweight sides who are meeting now after a couple of seasons in our league, a meeting on Monday night in our USL Cup. Swope Park becomes the first team in USL's modern history to go back-to-back USL Cup finals. Coach Popovich and his side have played an exciting, attacking style of football all season, and congratulate them on a magnificent campaign that they've had. Louisville City led the Eastern Conference practically all season. They make their debut now in the USL Cup, and I'd like to congratulate Coach O'Connor and his squad on a fantastic season and for truly inspiring this city to get behind our sport and to get behind this team. I'd like to congratulate the club's management as well, under the leadership of Steve Livingston and Brad Estes. All the work that's gone into hosting this USL Cup final in such a short space of time, both this weekend and Monday's game, really congratulate them. It's a heavy lift, and you guys are executing it marvelously. I'd also like to extend our appreciation to Chairman John Neese, to Mike Mountjoy, and to the wider ownership group for their hard work and for their commitment to make this organization one of the very best clubs in the USL. Monday night's game will be televised on ESPNU nationally and carried with our radio partner SiriusXM on satellite radio. I'd like to thank Sirius and ESPN for their continued support not only of the sport, but our league in partnership with the USL. Finally, as we wind up the season, it's an opportunity for me to recognize and thank the quality of the individuals that I get to work with every day at the USL. It's a real privilege. We have some phenomenal young sports executives who come into work every day trying to make our league and our teams better. They don't accept the status quo, and they're always pushing, and I'm always challenging them, and it's a privilege to work with them. We have a number of them here this weekend. I'd just like to recognize a few. We have Brett Louie and Dan Laws, who run all the competition, the operations for our league. They support all our team operations. Lizzie Seedhouse, Vincent Wiskowski, AJ Coleman, they're here. They've transformed our digital and social media efforts, make us look a lot cooler, a lot hipper, and we thank them for all their efforts. Lenny and Nicholas Murray, who head all our communications and content production, do a fantastic job. And I would also like to recognize our Executive Vice President, Tom Veed, who has a multitude of tasks at the league office, but he's the chief architect behind USL Productions and the USL TV network, and has done an outstanding job supporting our teams now. We've gone from one team with the local television market deal to 20 now, moving into next season, so he's doing a fantastic job. Finally, I would like to recognize our head of events, Joe Dragota, who works tirelessly. We have a ton of events that we have to do throughout the year. This is our big one, and so Joe's done an amazing job leading the team and everything that goes into this weekend and working with the host club. So congratulations and thank you, Joe, for all her hard work. Monday night, USL Cup will be the only live professional soccer game on TV in this country. So we have the potential to reach millions of soccer fans. We need you all at Slugger Field. For what I'm told, I think there's about 1,000 or so tickets left, maybe less. There's going to be a full house. It'll be standing room only shortly. We need you there. Get out there. This is Louisville's chance to show its passion, that it is truly a soccer city, and to do so on a national stage. So with that, I want to thank you all for your support of this team over the years and into Monday. Thank you for the support of the USL. And without further ado, I'll step aside and you hear from the two contenders up here. So thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Jake. Now we'll hear from our guests up on stage who'll be competing for the USL Cup on Monday. To my right, I'm going to introduce Soul Park Ranger head coach Nikola Popovic, captain Christian Duke, and goalkeeper Adrian Zendejas. At this point, Coach, if you'd like to come up and say a few words, please. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. It's easier to speak with the players than with the press, of course. But I want to say that we are very proud to be here. As you all know, in these 2 years, in these 2 seasons, we were able to come in 4 finals. This is our second USL Cup final, so we are very proud. I would like to congratulate our organization, Sporting Kansas City, our players who've been fantastic during this year, all the staff. I would like to congratulate Louisville for a fantastic season they made. Coach James O'Connor, congratulations, a fantastic team, all the players of Louisville, and of course the USL as an organization, making this league being bigger and bigger and better. So I hope to see you everybody in the stadium next Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Popovic. And to my left, we have Louisville City, who's led by head coach James O'Connor, who's joined as well by captain Paolo Del Piccolo and midfielder George Davis IV. Now I'd like to introduce your coach for a few brief comments. Coach.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to obviously echo some of the sentiments that Nicola has made. I'd like to welcome Nicola and all his players and his coaches. I think they've had a phenomenal season. I think to win 2 Western Conferences back to back, to get to 2 USL Cup finals. Again, huge respect from everyone at Louisville City. I'd also like to thank the league. I think when you look at Jake and Alec, you look at the job the league have done, the growth of the game. Myself and Christian used to play together a few years ago in Orlando, and we were just commenting before the magnificent strides the league have been able to make within the last 3 years. I think they deserve enormous credit. So I think when you look at the way Swope play, their style of play and the way we play, I think it'll be a very entertaining game. I think they're a very obviously formidable team, but it all points to a really exciting game on Monday night. Really encouraged by the supporters, the fact that we've got so few seats left in the house. So again, I'd like to touch on that, to make sure if you haven't got your ticket that you've probably got the rest of today to be able to get a seat. After that it'll be standing room only. So it's a game we're very much looking forward to, and again, thank you very much for all your support throughout the year.
Okay, now I'd like to take a moment. We can take some questions from the audience to either squad. We'll probably take 1 or 2 questions each. And just a reminder, we'll also have a photo opportunity up here, followed by availabilities, one-on-one media availabilities afterwards. So if you do have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll be happy to address either side. Right up front here first.
You guys had a great finish to your season, great end to your season, and then you won 2 games in the playoffs and penalties. How do you keep that energy going through momentum for Monday night?
If I can repeat it just for the fans that are listening on the stream, you had some, what was the question again? I'm sorry. Great run in the season, correct. And then you've had 2 games that went to the penalties in the playoffs. How do you keep that energy within your team, and how do you keep the momentum going?
I disagree a little bit with you right away, because I think that we did a fantastic season. It wasn't the last run that went very well. I think a little bit of people were distracted about Swope Park. Nobody was speaking about us, but we were playing a very good football, and we were making some very good exhibitions. So I think the process of coming to the final for us was natural. But about your question of the PKs, when you come to the playoff, it's you say here it's a different animal. It's a different competition. The players transform themselves, and many times the games are real battles. So it was, of course, many times when you come to the penalty situation, it's a question of luck. But our players were able to focus and win the games and win the penalty kicks. Okay.
Another question, right here in the back, please.
For both coaches, just what kind of challenge is it preparing for an opponent that's in a different conference, plays different teams on a regular basis, and maybe, I don't know, just you don't have similar opponents?
Just to repeat the question, for both coaches, what are some of the challenges that come in preparing for an opponent who plays different teams, who plays in a different conference, and you don't see on a regular basis? James, one second.
I think for us, well, for me personally, as I say, I've played with Christian, so throughout the course of the season, I've watched some of their games, and I have a lot of respect for Christian. I think he's someone that's very capable of playing in the MLS. So I think for me, the fact that we're playing Swope, we've got such respect for how they play. I think when people in Louisville see how they play expansive football. They're a really good footballing team. So again, for us, it's been interesting to come and pit our wits against them, because tactically they play a really exciting formation and play such good football. I think maybe there's other teams had it been in the West that I wouldn't maybe have seen as much of, but due to the fact I have so much respect for Christian and how they play, I've watched quite a few games of them.
Yes, it's always different to play. It's always different to play a team from the other conference, because you are not used to this kind of football, to this kind of players. They have a different way of play. But we study Louisville a lot during the season too. It's a fantastic team. It's a team full of speed, full of aggressivity, playing in their own stadium. So I really think it's going to be a challenge for us, how we're going to be able to resolve the problems that are going to appear during the game, because really it's a different environment. it's a different. Louisville will ask us different questions that we are used to, so it's going to be very fun to understand how our players are going to respond and how they're going to adapt to a different model and a different way of play.
Additional questions? I'll throw one out just to the players. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have one in the back? Yes, please.
Yeah, for James, Paulo, and any of the players on the side, how important is it to the city as you move forward, as you begin the process of building a stadium, to have this game Monday night? And how important is it to win this cup?
Just real quick so I can repeat it for the folks. The question was how important is it for Louisville, as they're building a stadium and a future home here in the city, to have this game on Monday night and also to win the USL Cup?
I think it's obviously very important to have the game, to be able to host the game. I think we've come really close the last sort of couple of years, been able to get there this year. So I think when you look at the growth of Louisville City, you look at our attendance figures, the first year, second year, third year, and the fact that, you know, we're on a Friday and we're pretty much, by the end of Friday, there's a lot of potential the game could be sold out. So I think it shows the passion that the supporters have for Louisville City. I think throughout the 3 years we've been able to get steady increases, not just in supporter numbers, but I think when you look at the amount of community events we've been able to attend, the amount of things that we've been able to do in the community and give back, I think when you look at the period of time, there's been a nice fit between the community and Louisville City. As regards how important it is to win, I think it's any cup final. I think every team is desperate to win. I mean, I think it's, regardless of how important it is, I think there'll be a desperation for both teams to try and win, because it's obviously a cup final.
Is it coming from the players?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with a lot of what James is saying about the support that we've had all year has been really incredible, and for us, just going out there and having it here and being able to play another game in front of our fans that have been so great all year is really exciting for us, and I think for the city as well. But again, you know, a cup final is a cup final, and no matter who's playing, so it's going to be as tough as could be.
We'll go to Nicholas here for USLsoccer.com.
Christian, you've been in this situation before last year. Obviously, that game ended in defeat for you. What did you take from that game that you can apply to Monday night?
I think last year, with it being our first year in the league, we were excited to win the Western Conference final. And I don't think our mindset going into the final was necessarily the kind of mindset we should have had. So this year we're a lot more hungry and a lot more, you know, we want to finish the job that's not done. That's been our mindset all year. We've talked about unfinished business. So I think having that loss last year left a bad taste in some of our mouths. So we're very excited to get out there and get the game going on Monday.
I think our experience has grown a lot throughout this year. So, you know, Nikolai, a couple other players, we've been in this situation before. We all, like you said, we had that taste. We've been wanting this trophy ever since last year. So it's just experience and just playing our game. It doesn't change. It's just another game. We know what's at stake, so it could change a lot of people's careers.
Any additional questions? As a reminder, we will have one-on-ones as well afterward. So one right here.
What about the temperature? It's going to be awfully cold on the headers of that hard ball when it's about freezing out there. Is it going to have any impact on the game?
Just a comment on the temperature and the potential impact on the game for Monday. We'd like to take that question.
It's easy for me. This is a lovely summer's day in Ireland, so that won't be a problem at all for me.
No, I think it's going to be very, very hot.
All right. We'll take one more in the back here. The question was, what does it say about Swope Park Rangers that they've been able to make it to the finals 2 years in a row?
You know, Nikola was here last year as an assistant, and the way we go about training day in and day out, the expectation is very high, and he wants the best out of everybody every day. And I think to have that competition day in and day out is important for the culture of the team and for the culture of the club, to have that competition and, you know, to want the best for everybody, because once you get the best out of somebody else, it just betters yourself. And I think as the season's gone on, we've grown as a team, even compared to last year, where we have a different style of playing. This year, we connected pieces that we didn't see ourselves connecting, and it's just grown from there.
I think it shows what our club with Sporting and Soul Park Rangers are about. You know, he's probably the only player that's played the whole season. You know, we had other people step up in the positions, and we're still getting results. So it shows that, you know, we all want this trophy, and we all this can change a lot of careers. You know, so it's whoever's on the field, whoever's in the top 11, whoever's in the 18, or whoever's in the stands. Everyone knows we all have our backs, and we're all on one mission, and that's just to get our trophy.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us today. And just a reminder, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, there's only about 1,000 or so left, correct, Steve? So feel free to call the box office or go to the website and pick up your ticket. We hope to see you there on Monday night.